you go. So this is a matrix that you have, 2D matrix, a two-dimensional data array, where I have cities along the row and the column. The same cities along the row, same along the column, the same sequence also. And the cell, the intersection of two cities, gives you the distance between the two cities. All cooked up data, so just sort of random numbers, so these are not real distances. And symmetrical, as you can understand, the diagonals are all, I mean the diagonal is 0, right? So I can understand it's a symmetrical matrix. Now what I have to do is, there's a spelling mistake, yeah. So I will find out the distance between Hyderabad and Chandigarh using index. That's the first thing. Chennai to Nagpur within index, using index. And then using index, I'll have to find out the total distance that a person travels when he starts from Nagpur and goes to Delhi via these 4 cities. And finally, I want to find out the total distance to Delhi from all the cities. Now I know you can simply sum up these numbers and give me the result, but that's not what I'm looking for. I want you to use index and get the result of this one. Okay, so these are the 3 problems. Let's solve it. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is this. You see, what I'm going to do is I need this array. I need this array multiple times. So instead of typing C4 to J11 every time or selecting this range every time, I'm going to name this. I'm going to give this range a name. Okay, which will be, and you see, it will be very easy for me to handle that if I name it. So I just select this. I go to this name box. There you go. See this name box? Just above A, column A. Just above column A, where it's now written C4. Just select this, click on this and give it a name. So I'm giving it a name, just typing it out. DISTANSC, TNC, distance, underscore, cities. Now, 2 things about naming. Number 1, you cannot have a blank space between words. That's the reason I have the underscore. And you have to press enter as soon as you finish typing. You must press enter, otherwise the name doesn't get raised. So now I've typed that and pressed enter. Right? Now, what happens is now, anywhere in the worksheet, if I use the name distance cities, Excel will understand that I'm referring to this range. Okay? Of course, I can still use C4 to J11, but now my job will be easier because I can just simply type distance cities and my job's done. Okay? You'll learn more about naming and all that stuff once you are in campus and we do our course. But let's now start solving this. So, index, right? So, instead of typing C4 to J11, right? What do? I'll simply type distance cities. I get that option. I select distance cities, press tab, and you can see the same area is getting selected. Okay? And then Hyderabad is row number 4, Chandigarh is 2. So I'm sure this is part of it is, all of you have done this. So there you go, 1050. Correct? Next, index, distance cities. Chennai is how many? 1, 2, 3, 6. Nagpur is 8. So I get this number. Right? Give it to the row.
So can you zoom back a little, please?
Zoom back. Okay, sure.
Zoom out.
Yeah, fine.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So I think this is fine. All of you have done this. For this one, you may have done something like this. Index, distance cities, then Nagpur is 8, and then Bangalore is, how much is Bangalore? 7, right? And then plus you said index, distance cities, and then Bangalore is 7, and Mumbai is 5, right? And so on and so forth, right? You used 3 more indexes to that. Am I correct? Am I correct?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Most of you must have done that. I think, right? That's what you must have done. And continued this, right? For 3 more indexes. Switch off your microphone, please. Now, what I will do instead is I'll just show you another way of arranging data so that these things become faster. You can do it faster. Here, it will hardly save time in this problem. But please remember that in Excel, if you can, innovatively arrange data, your work can get so much easier and faster, right? So let's see this. What am I trying to do? I'm going to type the numbers of these cities here. Nagpur is 8, Bangalore is 7, Mumbai is 5, Hyderabad is 4, Chandigarh is 2, Delhi is 1. I'm just typing it. In case you're wondering, how can I know the numbers if there are 100 cities? Well, as I told you, there are functions which I can use to get these numbers. I do not know these functions yet. We do not know it yet, but we'll know tomorrow. So I have these numbers, 875421, right? Now, here's what I do. Index, distance cities, right? And now what I'll do is, instead of typing 87, which most of you did, I'll just type J22 and J23. What is the advantage? The advantage is that this can be dragged, which saves a lot of time if the data set is huge. Okay. Now this gives you 1482, and then I drag it 1, and then you can see what happens. J23, J24, right? Which is 7 and 5. Which is 7 and 5. Exactly the second one which most of you have done. Look at this, 7, 5. So now I can simply drag it and drop it till this point. I won't go beyond this because then it will be an error. So this is index distance cities 2-1, which is the final thing that I want, Chandigarh to Delhi. Chandigarh to Delhi. Okay. And now when I have these numbers, all that I do is I just sum these numbers, add up, right? And I get the total distance as 5087. What is the utility of this? Slight, I mean, a little bit of slight utility of this in this case is I can just say what's the round trip result? What is the round trip distance? I can just put 8 here and drag it just one more cell, and I get the round trip number. Okay, so this helps you do it faster. Only, of course, you cannot see the increase in speed with this just a small data set, but with large data sets, this helps considerably. And now for the final thing.
Can you explain the round trip part again? How did you do that?
Yeah, I just added 8 because it is back to Nagpur. And then I dragged it one more row. This, I dragged one more row.
Okay, sir.
So this is Delhi to Nagpur. And now for the final thing, I know I'm just rushing through this because I can see that it's already close to 9:45, and you have to go home, those who are in studios. So I'm rushing through this. If you have doubts, we'll take it up tomorrow. So don't worry, right? Let me finish this and then we'll, if you have doubts, we can take up tomorrow. Now, total distance to Delhi from all the cities, right? Now, don't need 7 indexes for this, of course. The thing is, remember that 0 thing? Let's do that. So index, distance cities, right? Row number 1. Why? Because see, this is what I'm looking for. This row, right? This row number 4. That's what I'm looking for. That's row number 1, right? Row number 1. So I'm giving 1. And what I do is I say column 0. Column 0, right? Now I press enter, I get an error as you got, right? But let's see what exactly index returns. Now this is how I can figure that out. So I select this function, the way I select the text, just select it, the way you select the text. With your mouse cursor or with your mouse or your keyboards or whatever it is, just select it. And then press function key F9. Function key F9. And you'll see all these 8 numbers. All the 8 numbers. So Excel has, or index has returned all 8 numbers. It's just that it cannot display all those 8 numbers because it can show only 1 and therefore the error. Now, after you press F9, you must press Ctrl Z, else your formula gets replaced with these numbers. Do not press enter, press Ctrl Z to get back the formula. Okay. Now that I know that I have these 8 numbers with me, all that I do is I put a sum function before the index, which helps me add these numbers and get the result 14640.